to address the Shire Council. We'd like to talk to you about a Designing for Resilience course that we're putting together. And I want to acknowledge everyone who's come, the original custodians of the land. Thanks, Uncle John, for coming. The SES, the police, the Rotary, CWA. Oh, there's representatives of everyone. Thanks for coming. As you know, we're community members who are also permaculture educators. We like to run a 72-hour course over 16 weeks. That'll be 4.5 hours a week, that's a half day. Towns that run this course get increased community networking and interactions, and they're informed more and engaged better in strategic town and regional planning. During the course, we build some community infrastructure, and government funding is available. We hope you decide to run the course soon. We've noticed an increasing amount of signs, and the Department of Fire and Emergency Services advice level today is watch and act. Oh.
No, it's more than that. Bullshit.
What is it? Warning imminent. I mean, climate change is causing a disaster. We have to get out now.
Hold on, okay. Sorry, mate. Yes, thanks,
Fast forward a few weeks. The immediate danger and rescue is over. The town has reopened. Clean-up has begun. Rebuilding is planned. Relief counsellors and other support services are in place. People are meeting each evening at the community centre for meals and meeting for updates. It's the only place that we currently have light and power at night. The daylight is for rebuilding activities. The evening is for being together. The Shire Council, thank you, have decided to call in the educators for the course that we described. It would give people positive things to talk about and help rebuild the community. Instead of using up 4.5 precious hours of daylight a week, we're going to be doing 3 evenings a week. 1.5 hours is probably all people can focus for. And it'll give them something positive. Would you come back and present for us, educators?
We will. We're just recovering from that moment of having to get out and so traumatised.
Oh yeah.
What's that bag?
That's my grab bag.
What's in it? That's my grab bag.
It's
No, it's mine.
Let's just see what's inside of it first. It might be something we all do.
This is full of like all of the essentials. Hey, like I've got my passport in there, birth certificate.
That's right, the mine too.
Yeah, the warranty.
Insurance papers?
Yeah.
Did you have any water and like light torches?
Yeah, you never know what emergency you might come across.
I
Even suburbia.
Fruit roll-ups.
If you find fruit roll-up, that's definitely my bag.
Oh, food and sustenance as an emergency. Medications?
Yeah.
All of that.
What about skills for community resilience?
Oh.
Nah.
Can you show us
All
what's
right,
in
I'll
there?
get into it.
My memorable should be my bag.
I'm busting.
Let's look what's in this bag.
What's in box? Go on. I just lost my dunny.
Come on,
My house burnt down. I deserve it more.
no, I can't. Even
What else is in the bag?
Hang on, let's calm down, guys. We don't need to act like this.
We're educators. Let's just sit down.
Past life we
Well,
were.
let's make sure we've got our education
Let's just
tools
have a quick-
in first.
Let's have a quick check-in.
Have a quick check-in and pause.
And what education tools?
We're here in front of the whole community. I mean, it's a bit embarrassing.
What's important now? Check in with each other though.
Jill, how are you feeling?
Oh, my house just burnt down. Ravaging bushfires, and it was on us before we could even begin to think what we had to do. So quite traumatised. But I'm ready to step away from my problems and help my local community if I can.
Yeah, that's what the grief counselling and other people are in for. I'd like it to be focusing on the things we already know and sharing it with everybody
I can
else.
do that.
Thanks, Kath. Yeah, we're not here to fight over toilet rolls. I'm sure we'll get the services we need to deliver the immediate needs, but I think we really need to try and deliver our collective skills to help this community and our community get through this. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, in the pandemic, I was feeling really isolated, and it was hard.
I love that we're sharing toilet paper, but there are so many other things that we could share. Let's get this on. I'm excited.
Yeah, look, it was really hard. I had to leave everything behind. I have my kids to worry about. My husband, he still has to work. I've lost everything. We don't have a house. We don't have any hope at the moment, and we can see that it's going to be a long road ahead. So I'd love to be able to share with the community actually some ideas and skills that might help all of us to rebuild in this really difficult time.
Oh, there's something written on it, don't you? Oh, it's something under the code.
All this in your birthday.
Design for resilience.
This could be part of week 1 and the first of the 3 sessions.
Yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea. We could maybe discuss some policy.
Design for Resilience is the name of this course. Design.
I think it'd be really important at the start to create a class code with our people as well. That's something we could do as part of our
We do
first
that
day.
in our permaculture origins and context.
Yeah, true. We could do. Explaining why we're teaching this information to the community, explaining where the thoughts and ideas have come from.
And what's that town meeting about, Steph?
Well, we've all gotten together after the disaster, and while we're all here, we can have a meeting and sure, share ideas.
Share ideas.
We can
Start to connect.
Yeah.
Well, week 2 looks like it's going to be about ecology. Why would we teach ecology so early?
Well, I don't know. It's sort of isn't that how like the whole world kind of runs?
How everything fits together.
Yeah.
How this whole community can fit together.
The bush in my place is just decimated. There's nothing left. All the trees have been killed, the wildlife. How are we going to bring it back?
Well, I think understanding the ecology and where it's at now and how we can bring it forward is a really good idea to start.
Yeah.
We can start discussing.
To know the steps to take to bring back and regenerate your bushland.
There's these little plants coming up. Do you reckon there's some kind of succession plan?
I've heard about pioneer species. Maybe something to do with that.
Awesome.
Fine. Horrible for us, but some of our plants really like it. It's just maybe there's something to learn there. There is. Maybe. Have a look at what comes back first, and we can start planning to match those ideas with human systems.
Looking at how nature rebuilds itself before we jump in and intervene.
Absolutely.
And the Shire Council have given us this plot. Hey, shall we build a community garden as the project for this process?
That's a wonderful idea. If we even put it on a rooftop, if the floodwaters come through again, the garden won't be destroyed.
If we make it here at the community centre, we'll have the floodlights at night.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. Look, my house is in shambles. I don't have any bloody food. You're telling me to go and make a garden. Like, how's this going to help in this time with this community? Seriously?
It's community building exercise. There are emergency services bringing in food for us all to share. This is a way of us to do a project together that's something that will lead to food access in the future, relying on our other services in the meantime. But this will build our community.
It'll help us heal, man.
That's so deep.
I feel hurt.
Community building makes us better.
Community building, working together in community after looking at principle 0.
And we've already covered off our ethics and principles to really set the foundations for our whole community to build on.
Patterns in climate is a really great 4th week session or 2.
And if we're studying patterns, maybe at the community garden, build a mandala garden and just explain.
It's a really great activity for everyone to be involved in.
Yeah, I've heard about that. How do
Weather, it's unpredictable.
Wow. Climate.
It's not climate. Climate's bigger than just weather.
Climate is bigger than just weather.
Considering all the storms we're having, I think we should really learn about that. We should.
And sometimes do with our bioregion.
Definitely our bioregion.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We learn how to look at some maps and look at the landscape. We might make some wiser decisions about how we rebuild.
So contours and maps would be a great follow-on from the bioregions topic. Followed by a field trip. What are we doing on our field trip?
Well, I need a practical example. I need to know, how do I map a contour? Can you show me how to do that on a field trip? Oh, that'd be great.
I am a topographer.
Oh, you can come with us on our field
I
trip.
love it.
We love the expert in the group.
Field trips make it better. Field trips make it better. Oh yeah.
But going from larger, broader topics down to some details, climate and patterns can also then, we could break them down into elements and sectors and zones. Do you think that would help people understand what elements in nature they're looking at and how they can design a great space when they're rebuilding as far as the zones work?
Yeah, actually that's a really good idea. We could maybe even expand on that throughout the whole community. Like, I mean, if you looked at if zones and stuff like that were a way of sort of measuring the energy flows within our personal space, what would happen if we put it on like a larger scale? You know?
Perhaps in the community garden that we're looking at,
Yeah, actually that's a great idea.
and integrating some other elements into the community garden, perhaps a cooking area,
Yeah.
waste disposal area for composting.
What about like community entertainment? We could like build a stage.
We could build a stage.
Well, these are great.
That's actually me, man. Yeah. I just don't really have any skills in the world, so I can just make people happy, and that's great. The stage would be awesome.
Bringing joy to people is such a valid skill to bring.
That's a great idea. It also means that we've got a demonstration space so we can teach the young people and people can see the patterns and analysis of the local area and start to expand that and look at how all of the area's resources and people work together with nature.
Yeah, and considering we've just learned about sectors and zones and elements, maybe we begin with a site analysis of the community garden, and then we can start to bring all our great ideas together and work it out as we continue with our resilience course.
That's great. It's teaching them to start thinking about analysing things so we can work towards our risk assessment.
And leading them to become autonomous.
Speaking of community garden, let's dive a little bit deeper. I really want to learn about what makes things grow. I mean, after all the potting mix washed away the bones, like
The soil is all gone.
planting.
The soil is washed away. However will we get our precious soil?
Oh, compost! That's how you get soil back.
We could do a soil class about how soils are put together, potting media, what they can do to rebuild using compost. And then the next part that goes into soil is water. Going through water in an urban and a rural sense, and then how it can be caught, slowed, stored.
Yeah, I really need to know about water because
my house is gone.
Yeah.
The water washes it away. I think that might be really important for me to understand when rebuilding.
How water behaves, how it moves.
Yeah, and how it keeps changing.
My
Like,
farm's been in drought for 25 years. We don't have any water.
if only I could give my water to you.
You know where there's plenty of water? In the ocean. And what we do here on the land really affects what's going on in the ocean. It's halfway through the course. We could all do the great. Shall we make one of the sessions a field trip? Let's go to the sea. We got the bus.
And we can talk about the rest of ecosystems like
No way.
And collect seaweed for the garden.
For the garden.
Look at all this trash. What are we going to do about
Oh,
that?
let's clean it up while we're here.
Yeah.
Get kids on the roof.
Bags, shovels.
Hey,
Yeah.
is that your tin of baked beans? Oh, it was. It's still here. Like, it's a bit rusted, but do you reckon that came from the farm? Yeah, well, you know, 25 years ago, before the drought, I think the water washed down here. The
Wow.
last of my dam water.
The river mouth's just over there.
Yeah, I should have recognised that tin of beans. Yeah, geez, I really better think about what I do upstream. Because that's going to affect the oceans.
Yeah.
Wow, everything's connected.
It is.
Well,
Well,
we best play
mind
this up.
blowing.
Following on from oceans, people are going to be coming home, starting to replant. Botany would be a great topic
Yeah.
to really get their thinking and working out how plants grow, what they need, their structures, intricate details of how plants actually work, because having that understanding.
Yeah. And we can link it back to some of the other concepts when we started talking about ecology, like just as a bit of a refresher too, and the way that different types of plants affect the ecosystems that they're in.
Or can change the ecosystems that they're in.
Absolutely. Maybe this might get us out of trouble in the future.
Maybe.
Some of those coastal salt-tolerant plants might be able to be used here, where our salinity issues are slowly increasing.
Yes?
Having walked around at the ocean, we might start taking a bit more notice of the forest that's near us. And have anyone noticed there's more creatures coming to visit?
Yeah, especially on that edge of the forest.
Yeah.
I never really understood why there's so much activity, things happening there. Yeah.
And the air space, the light session for this week could be a walk reading the landscape.
Reading the landscape, and now we know about the community then knows about forests and about the local wildlife, how they tie together. So reading the landscape walk would be a really great field trip.
That thing that we picked up in the forest where it was like really cool and shady.
It was
like,
very
once
cool
you
and
stepped
shady.
inside.
It
What was
was
that thing called?
It's actually just beyond the edge. It was microclimate, wasn't it?
Yeah, right. So we could create microclimates where we are. I mean, we notice those in our own backyard.
Yeah.
Or communities.
But they're not really things that we can really create, are they? They're more things that occur given the right conditions.
Yeah. So they could be created if the right
Yeah.
structure was built or plants were planted.
The right elements in the right spot.
Let's build a propagation shed for the community garden. That'll create a microclimate that'll
Absolutely.
make it possible.
And the windbreaks that people start to put back in again, they would have microclimates on one
either
side or either side. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, this course is just, the planning for this course is going along so nicely. This community's got a lot to learn. I'm glad we're spacing it right out because they've got a lot to think about on the
Yeah.
other side of this trauma they've just gone through of being refugees.
Absolutely.
What's up next in our course, Pat?
Weeds and edibles.
That's such
Hang on, I hope this is about roundup, because I've spent 50 years trying to get rid of weeds, right? So I hope this is about what kind of chemicals I can use to
Did
get
you
rid
know a
of
lot of those weeds that you spray are actually edible?
Well, not after
They
it's
were.
out.
Not after you spray them.
Shit now.
Depends, if it's sprayed with compost seed, if you go back, that's fine. But yes, a lot of weeds are actually edible. And
What are you talking about?
Well, we were in a disaster zone and there wasn't much access to food, so if we knew what we could go out and forage and collect, maybe we could have eaten some weeds while we waited for the big trucks to deliver the rest of the food.
Particularly the weeds are the first to come up. Weeds are the first plants to come up out of the ground.
They're
Under a
actually
disturbance.
what's called a pioneer species, and they have a really good way of like helping the land heal.
And they make great pesto.
They do make great pesto.
Problem is the solution. Problem is the solution. Problem is the solution.
Moving on from the spraying comment, integrated pest management.
Oh yeah, spray them too. Yeah, kill them all. I mean, like, what else are you supposed to do? They come and just eat the whole crop and it's like, you know, now we've got these floods and these fires. I mean, how am I supposed to grow food?
Just eat the program. Look, it's tasty.
Like,
You
locusts.
can grind up crickets into flour.
I'm pretty hungry. I might keep that guts off the edge.
Delicious.
Just found a new value add opportunity. Brilliant.
Like money and protein.
Do you reckon we could maybe do like a barbecue at like the community garden with crickets and weeds and stuff?
Oh, yeah, that'd be a great idea.
Yeah, that'd be a nice
Should we
short
tell
topic.
people there's
My thermomix is already
Don't tell them the rabbit either.
Okay. It's just chicken.
It's
Yeah, ground chicken. Speaking of rebuilding and community gardens and stuff, you know, I had a real big issue with the power after.
Oh, the power was gone.
Yeah.
It's just gone for ages.
Like, I mean, if we
No,
had.
my thermomix doesn't work.
No.
Kat, have you got a solution for different... Can you fix my thermomix problem?
I probably can't, but I've been loving using my solar oven. Anyone want to learn how
Oh, I
to use
love a
some
solar
different
oven.
kinds of technologies?
That's real appropriate, eh?
Totes are gross.
These is all ways of designing for resilience.
Right.
Designing for resilience makes it better.
So now that we've got all of this broader down to finer detail, broader patterns, broader topics down to finer details, can this be applied to the town that we are teaching in? Does that go towards some strategic town planning?
We've learned so much. I don't want to take it from just my backyard. I want to go out into the community and really help our hometown.
And think about how we spend our money ethically.
The bigger picture.
Yeah.
What do you suggest?
Hold on, I'm the town planner.
Yes?
This town needs jobs and growth and jobs and growth and jobs and growth and jobs and growth. Jobs and growth and tourism and jobs and growth and tourism and tourism and growth. How do you plan to address this?
We can use our newly designed permaculture-based town as a draw card for tourism for other people who would like to learn about designing for resilience, because these climate emergencies are going to affect pretty much everyone in the years going forward.
There's your tourism.
That's
Since
tourism.
the fires, we've had no jobs or growth, jobs or growth. Yes, thank you.
Increased tourism is increased jobs and increased money, which can be reinvested back into the community in a wholesome way.
Yeah, and growth could actually just be like the spreading of the word.
The pattern language that we're going to be teaching people in this course means people will understand what they're all talking about.
Yes.
There'll be less arguments and more forward movement in solutions thinking.
Good Lord.
Once the plants come back,
Yeah,
the animals are going to start to come back, aren't they?
absolutely. I mean, you know, we did bring in the chickens to the garden, but
We did.
yeah, I've noticed that there's plenty of birds hanging around in there too. Yeah. Plus there's little finches and stuff.
Features. Do you have another suggestion for animals that we could also bring into our community garden? Children.
Not the children.
No!
The children are a valuable resource. We put to work creating compost.
Child labour.
And Uncle John has offered to take us for a field trip and talk about cool burns.
Yes, so after we've done fire as a management tool, Uncle John is taking us for a cool burn demonstration. how the Indigenous did manage our forests. Back to the old managing forests question from back here.
Look, people here have been managing forests through ice age, through climate change, so many different kinds, throughout millennia. And I think there's nothing more valuable than hearing that perspective and reading the landscape from the original culture's knowledge.
Absolutely.
Isn't it great that we're getting to know who knows what in this community? We could build an inventory
We could.
of skills and knowledge in the community.
And a directory so everyone can contact someone with that skills or knowledge.
That's a really great idea. Should we make it a bit of a town meeting?
Yeah, town meeting would be a great.
Yeah, we've learned so much. I think it's time to take it to the town.
What a great way to check in with everyone and see how the learning's going and how everyone's settling with.
Now that all the topics have been covered, town design project. What do they want for themselves? What do we want? So what do we want for ourselves? How are we going to design it? How are we going to incorporate these different elements?
And look at that, the community garden has been growing so well. We can have a celebration in the garden. The pizza oven we built, the stage we built, all the seedlings we propagated in that propagation shed. Hey, this is a great place. Let's present it.
Yes.
I agree.
Present it and then have a big party at the end to congratulate all of the people that came.
And all of our hard work. You know what? I came here panicking, but I didn't have enough gunny rolls. And you know what? Now we've got enough gunny rolls for everyone.
A brief word about our process. We started out, sorry, with creativity. We found out who was in the group. We named it because we had little sheep and we were all going bah. So we're the educators. We talked about group code. We discovered each other's learning styles and figured out that we were all going to have to fill in the space that we had that. And we shared life experiences. 3 of us have been through something climate-related traumatic. That helped us to narrow in on our target group, not to talk about ourselves, but to bring our lived experience to how things might be more effectively presented. We put the principles as a backbone, we hung the core subjects off that like a fish skeleton. Then we arranged the order for flow. We took out the principles because they've finished doing their job, but they will be all the way through, of course. We related things to our target group. We put in, you might have noticed there's white activity in every week. That's the fizz in the pot. It's a lighter subject or an activity that is applying the things that we've done as theory that week. We decided that 3 1.5-hour sessions would be a lot easier to assimilate information and use the available time in the dark when you can't see what you're doing to try and plan it. We had a great time.
And we organised about 60% of this 5 minutes before
Yes. We have re-evaluated.
We've reevaluated several times and it's always been a valuable exercise.
Yes.
And it's something that we're actually all good at now, I think.
I've been taught all week how to do that.
Change is there, make the most of it. Might as well use it for you.
Going for fighting over a toilet roll, running out of the room yelling, save yourself. Serving up ground chicken at the community garden. Right, do we want to chat now or is now the time to go?
Well, I wondered if we could go outside the groups for a few minutes and get into a big group hug and say, didn't we do well? self-congratulation time for a few minutes. Wasn't it great when, and wasn't it good, and this happened and that happened. Just any way you like. It's a type of an informal debrief to congratulate yourselves. It's one of the most stressful things you do. Is putting it together. You were micro-teaching yesterday and producing. So, you know, just take a few minutes and please come back within 5. Thank you.
And you don't make a change, it'll happen to you, yeah. Yeah, 'cause we've got small change and big change and a bit of loose change. Slow change and fast change and a wind change. We've got sea change and tree change and climate change. You change and me change and a key change. We've got Kevin McGee on the trombone up here. Mike, could you run the Barry sax? Jess from Picket Fiddle on the violin. Try a bit of permaculture hip hop. What do you reckon? Change is all the rage. Turn the page away from these strange, out of phase, deranged, crazy days. Well, 'cause it's about time we engage with rearranging our brains out of these old ways, behaving like we're insane. We've got to step out of our cages, worrying about our wages, or maybe the Asian stock exchanges. It's time to turn the pages. Don't feel ashamed, don't wear the blame, just drain the main vein of the pain. Take to the stages and become agents of change. Thank you very much.